Hey, this is Pizza Dude Man, and these are my top 5 S supports for Azura in Fire Emblem Fates. Azura. She's lovely, graceful, talented, and those qualities within themselves make many of her potential partners interested in her. But she's also shy, solitary, and secretive, which makes all of her supports really delve into her character in order to establish a good relationship. Now, just like Kourin, I will not be including any supports between Azura and her siblings. We know right off the bat that Ryoma and Takumi are not actually related to Azura, but even so, their support conversations really establish a much stronger sibling relationship than a romantic one, so they wouldn't be on my top 5 anyway. And as for Xander and Leo, I'm actually a bit confused. Elise implies that the Nohrian siblings do think of Azura as their sister, but Xander and Leo don't hesitate or bring up that relationship at all when reaching S support with her. Regardless, while they're good supports, they still wouldn't be on my top 5. In fact, there are so many great supports with Azura, it was really difficult to narrow it down to just 5. There's several I really wanted to include. But I guess that just makes my top 5 all the more special to me, and here they are. Number 5. Arthur. Because of Azura's upbringing and her mysteriousness, there are very few characters related to Azura's backstory, like how the Avatar has Jacob, Felicia, Silas, and more. Arthur is one of those characters. Arthur's supports with Azura reveal a shared childhood memory in which Azura was running from the Nohrian castle guards and Arthur protected her, taking a beating in Azura's place. From here, their supports lead to the two of them learning about each other, becoming friends, and eventually becoming a couple. It's a really sweet love story about childhood friends meeting back up many years later. Number 4. Benny. Before we even get into the support conversations, I just love the concept of the pairing of Benny and Azura. Both are shy characters who spend much more time alone than with others, and additionally, I like the idea of Shigure being Benny's son, since both spend time socializing with animals. Now, on top of all that, the supports between Benny and Azura are really good. They revolve around Azura trying to remember a song that her mother once taught her, and Benny lending help. Through these supports, they do really connect given their similar personalities. In their A support, Azura finally remembers her special song, and she attributes this recovery to the time she spent with Benny. The two share a moment here that I think is a wonderful lead into their S support, where they admit their love for each other. Number 3. Jacob. Probably one of the biggest reasons why I like this pairing is because it's possible for Azura and Jacob to spend a pretty good amount of time together over the course of the main story, if the Avatar is female, and especially if you play the Revelation path. Those may seem pretty specific, but I always find it significant when characters have more interaction than just within their support conversations. And as for their support conversations, they're really good. I believe it's the most of Jacob's backstory that we get, so that's pretty cool within itself, but Jacob and Azura's relationship makes a great natural progression. They start by talking about Azura's lovely singing, which becomes a conversation about parents, which leads into Jacob's backstory, and in the A support, to Jacob's loyalty to Kourin. At the end of the A support, I think they have a really great lead into their S support, where Jacob claims he is also loyal to Azura like he is to Kourin. That's quite the claim. Jacob is entirely devoted to Kourin, as Takumi puts it, to the exclusion of others. So for him to say he's also loyal to Azura, that's pretty special. And it ends with a very cute S support. Number 2. Kaze. There are so many things I like about this pairing. Since both Azura and Kaze play a role in Fates' prologue, it's pretty easy to build up their supports quickly. They're among the first units you get in the game. Additionally, they're two of the few Hoshidans that join you regardless of what route you take. I also think they just have a very similar demeanor. Compared to many of the game's units who are quirky or loud, Kaze and Azura are very calm and collected, which is something that gets brought up in their support conversations. And, with Kaze being a ninja, they're both very secretive, so I really think they bond just on a level of their character, kinda like Azura and Benny. And, of course, I really like their support conversations. Azura and Kaze's supports are very unique. It's a side story about Azura helping her Nana with Kaze's help. It's rare for us to see Azura talk about people who are important to her upbringing, and it's also rare for us to see Azura get really emotional while talking, but both are here. I also really like support conversations that give the characters a little story to go through like this. Azura has a great one with Tsubaki as well. In Azura and Kaze's A support, he renews his vow of service to Azura, which makes me wonder about the relationship a bit. I know Kaze serves the royal family in general, but he makes it sound like he has a special connection to Azura. Well, if he didn't before, he definitely does here, and it leads to a great S support. Number 1. Kourin. Well, of course I had to put this one at number 1. I don't think there are any two characters in the game with as much of a connection as Azura and Kourin. As the two main characters, they are constantly interacting within the story, they come from eerily similar backgrounds, and they have 3 entirely unique sets of support conversations, one for each route, and they're all fantastic. I could go on and on about why this is my number 1 pairing for Azura, but I think I already got the point across in my first video for this series, Top 5 S Supports for Male Avatar. So if you want to hear a more in-depth reasoning, just watch that video. That's it for my top 5 S supports in Fire Emblem Fates for Azura. Let me know what you think in the comments below, which pairings are your favorite, and which Fire Emblem Fates character you'd like to see next time. Thanks for watching!